When the Whitmore family bought the house on Alder Ridge Road, they thought they were fortunate. The price was far below market value. The property sat on 3 wooded acres outside town. The structure itself was large, but not extravagant. 2 stories, pale gray siding, a wraparound porch that creaked gently in the wind. It had been on the market for over a year. People don't like remote properties anymore, the realtor said lightly. Mark Whitmore did not mind remote. He worked remotely as well. His wife Elena wanted space for their 2 children. Quiet, privacy, a place to reset. They moved in during early autumn. The first night passed without incident. The second night, Elena woke at 2:14 a.m. She could not explain why. The house was silent, the kind of silence that feels padded, as though the walls absorb sound. She lay there listening. Then she heard something, a soft, measured creak. Not the wind, a shift, like wood settling under weight. She nudged Mark. "Did you hear that?" "Hear what?" he murmured. Another creak followed. Then stillness. "It's an old house," he said, already drifting back to sleep. Elena stayed awake longer than she meant to. In the morning, she went downstairs first. The kitchen looked normal. Sunlight through the east window. The same cabinets. The same narrow pantry door near the refrigerator. She began making coffee. Halfway through pouring water into the machine, she paused. The pantry door was on the opposite wall. She stared at it. No, that wasn't right. It had been next to the refrigerator. She walked over slowly, opened it. Shelves, cereal boxes, flour, everything in place. She turned around. The refrigerator stood where it always had. The pantry door now sat between the stove and the back hallway. She felt a chill crawl up her arms. "Mark," she called. He came downstairs, tying his rope. "What's wrong?" The pantry was there. She pointed. "It's always been there," he said. "No, it was next to the fridge." Mark frowned. "Elena, we unpacked it ourselves." The children, Lily and Connor, wandered in behind him. "Mom moved the cereal last night," Lily said casually. "I did not." Connor shrugged. "The kitchen feels bigger." Elena said nothing more. By afternoon, she had convinced herself she had simply been disoriented. Moving was exhausting. Stress plays tricks on memory. That night, she woke again at 2:14 a.m. This time she did not wait. She slipped from bed and stepped into the hallway. It was longer, only by a few feet, but longer. The small table that had sat beneath the framed landscape painting was now farther away. She walked slowly toward it. Her footsteps sounded muted, as though the carpet were thicker. At the end of the hall, the bathroom door stood slightly ajar. A light glowed faintly beneath it. She was certain she had turned it off. "Elena," a small voice whispered. She froze. It sounded like Lily, but Lily's bedroom was behind her. "Elena." Not Lily. Not quite. The voice felt like an echo of her own. She stepped toward the bathroom. The light flickered, then went out. The hallway snapped back. Short again. The table closer. The carpet normal. She stood there shaking. In the morning, she measured it. From their bedroom door to the bathroom door. 32 steps. Exactly the same as the day before. She did not mention it. On the 4th morning, Mark noticed something. "There's a door here," he said. Elena turned from the sink. There, at the end of the living room wall, stood a narrow wooden door. Unpainted. No handle. Just a faint outline of where a handle might be. "That wasn't there," Mark said. The children gathered behind him. Connor reached toward it. "Don't," Elena snapped. He pulled his hand back. Mark pressed against the door gently. It did not open. It did not move. It felt solid, as if it had always been part of the structure. "I must have missed it," he said after a moment. "You don't miss a door," Elena replied. They searched the house's original floor plans online. No mention of a door in that location. No indication of renovations. That evening, the door was gone. The wall was smooth. No outline. No trace. Mark laughed uneasily. "Maybe we imagined it." Elena did not laugh. That night, at 2:14 a.m., the creaking returned. But this time it was rhythmic. Shift. Pause. Shift. Like breathing. The house felt larger. Elena sensed it without leaving the bed. The air felt stretched. The ceiling higher. Beside her, Mark slept heavily. She sat up slowly. The bedroom door stood slightly open. It had been closed. Through the crack, she saw darkness. Thicker than usual. She rose and walked toward it. The hallway beyond was not their hallway. It was narrower. The walls were bare. No paintings. No family photos. The air smelled faintly of damp wood. "Elena," the house seemed to whisper. Not through sound, through pressure, through space. She stepped into the altered hallway. Behind her, the bedroom door clicked shut. She spun around. The handle was gone. The walls on either side felt closer. The hallway stretched far ahead, bending slightly out of sight. She began walking. Each step felt absorbed by the floor, as though the house did not want noise. Halfway down the corridor, she noticed something mounted on the wall. A picture frame. She approached it slowly. Inside was a photograph. The Whitmore family, standing in front of the house, but older. The children taller. Mark's hair thinner. Elena's face more tired. And the house behind them looked different. Wider. Deeper. As though it had grown. Beneath the photograph, a date. 5 years from now. Her breath caught. From somewhere behind her came the familiar creak. The hallway shortened suddenly. The walls pressed inward. The photograph fell. The glass did not shatter. It sank into the floor like water. "Elena," the whisper came again. Closer. "Stay." The pressure in her ears intensified. Then everything snapped. She was standing in her normal hallway. 32 steps long. Bathroom light off. Family photos intact. Her bedroom door opened behind her. Mark stirred inside. "Elena," he called sleepily. She stepped back into the room and closed the door gently. In the morning, she found dirt beneath her fingernails. Dark soil, like earth from the yard. And at the end of the hallway, faintly visible in the paint, was the outline of a door. The house was not haunted. It was adjusting, and she had the terrible sense that it was adjusting to them. Elena stopped sleeping after that night. She pretended to. She lay still when Mark breathed evenly beside her. She kept her eyes closed when the children padded down the hall in the morning. But she did not sleep. At 2:14 a.m., the house always shifted. Not loudly, not violently, just enough. A breath in the walls, a subtle widening of space, a quiet rearranging of distances. The children began noticing things too. "Mom," Connor said one afternoon, standing at the base of the stairs, "how many steps are there?" 14, she answered automatically. "There were 16 yesterday." She walked over, counted. 14. Connor frowned. "It feels steeper." That evening, Lily refused to sleep in her room. "There's another closet now," she said calmly. Mark sighed. "There's always been a closet." "No," Lily insisted. "This one is inside the wall." Elena's stomach tightened. They all went upstairs together. Lily pointed to the far corner of her bedroom. There was no closet, just smooth painted drywall. "See," Mark said gently. Lily stared at the wall for a long time. "It closes when you look at it," she whispered. Mark knelt in front of her. "Sweetheart, houses don't do that." Elena did not correct him. That night, at 2:14 a.m., the shift was stronger. The bedroom ceiling seemed higher. The air colder. Mark stirred. "Elena," he murmured, half awake. "Do you feel that?" Yes. For the first time, he felt it too. The bed seemed smaller. The room wider. The door to the hallway drifted several inches to the left, as if nudged by invisible hands. The walls creaked. The sound was not strain. It was intention. Elena stood. "Don't go," Mark said quietly. She looked at him. His eyes were open now, fully awake. "You see it," she said. He nodded once. The hallway outside was wrong again. Not dramatically, but undeniably. The carpet pattern had shifted from stripes to a faint geometric design. The family photos were older. In one frame, Connor stood nearly as tall as Mark. In another, Lily wore a graduation gown. The dates beneath them were 3 years ahead. "This isn't real," Mark whispered. Elena approached one of the frames. Her own face looked thinner, her eyes more hollow. The house behind them in the photograph had expanded. A third story rose above the roofline. Additional windows lined the sides. It looked established, settled, rooted. "Why are we still here?" Mark asked. Neither of them answered. Behind them, a door appeared. The narrow wooden one from before. Unpainted. No handle. This time it stood at the center of the hallway. Solid. Waiting. The children's bedroom doors opened slowly behind them. Lily stepped out first. Connor followed. Both looked calm. Too calm. "It's time," Lily said. Mark moved protectively in front of them. "Time for what?" Connor tilted his head slightly. "For it to finish." The house creaked again. Longer. Deeper. Elena felt pressure in her chest, like being underwater. "Finish what?" she asked. Neither child answered. The wooden door shifted slightly. Not opening, but breathing. Mark stepped toward it. "Elena, this is stress. We've all been stressed. We're projecting." As he spoke, the hallway extended another few feet. The carpet darkened. The air thickened. Mark reached for where a handle should have been. There was nothing. Then, slowly, the surface of the door softened. Not melting, not breaking, becoming permeable, like the photograph glass that had sunk into the floor. Connor stepped forward. "Dad, don't," Elena said sharply. But Connor touched the door. His hand passed through. He did not look surprised. "It's warm," he said quietly. Mark grabbed him and pulled him back. The hallway contracted violently. The photos fell from the walls. The ceiling lowered. The door hardened instantly. The children blinked. Confused now, as if waking. "What happened?" Lily asked. Everything snapped back. Normal hallway. Normal carpet. Normal lighting. No door. Mark backed against the wall. "This house is doing something," he said finally. Elena nodded. "It's adjusting." Adjusting to what? To us. The realization came slowly. Not as a flash. As a settling weight. The house did not shift randomly. It responded. Each time they questioned it, it corrected. Each time they resisted, it pressed harder. Each time they accepted a change, the change remained. The pantry, the stairs, the length of the hall, small modifications. Testing tolerance. Testing memory. "It's expanding," Elena whispered. Mark shook his head. "That's impossible." She walked toward the living room. Counted windows. 6. Yesterday there were 5. Mark followed her outside. From the yard, the house looked larger. Subtly, but undeniably. The roofline stretched slightly farther back. The porch extended a few more feet to the left. "That's perspective," Mark muttered. But his voice lacked conviction. The next night, they tried something. At 2:13 a.m., they stood in the hallway together. Waiting. Watching. At exactly 2:14, the shift began. The walls inhaled. The air thickened. The hallway lengthened by inches. Elena gripped Mark's hand. "No," she said firmly. "This is our house." The creaking paused, then resumed. Stronger. The wooden door appeared again. Closer this time. Only 10 steps away. Mark stepped forward. "We're not staying," he said aloud. The house groaned. The door pulsed. From behind it came a faint echo. Laughter. Older. Mature. Connor's voice. Lily's voice. But grown. "You hear that?" Elena whispered. Mark nodded. The door softened again. This time it opened slightly. Not into darkness. Into light. Bright afternoon light. Through the gap, Elena saw the interior of the house. Expanded. Beautiful. Finished. A 3rd floor. A wide staircase. Framed photos covering every wall. Photos of birthdays. Holidays. College graduations. Weddings. All inside this house. Older versions of themselves moving comfortably through it. The house was not trapping them. It was anchoring them. Keeping them here. Forever. "It's showing us what happens if we stay," Mark said quietly. Behind the door, older Elena turned toward them. Her expression was blank. Resigned. The light flickered. The hallway tightened. The door began closing. "Elena," Mark said urgently. She understood. The house was building a future around them. Expanding to contain their entire lives. Adjusting until leaving no longer felt possible. If they stayed long enough, they would forget it ever changed. They would accept the extra rooms. The new floors. The longer halls. Memory would adjust too. The door nearly shut. Mark pulled Elena back. "Get the kids." They ran. Down the stairs. Out the front door. The air outside felt sharp and thin. Real. They did not pack. They did not lock the door. They drove until the house disappeared behind the trees. In the rearview mirror, Elena watched it. For a moment, she thought she saw the roofline shrink slightly. As though disappointed. Weeks passed. They rented a small townhouse in the city. No creaks. No shifts. No 2:14 awakenings. One afternoon, while unpacking a box, Elena found a framed photograph she did not remember packing. She stared at it. It showed the Whitmore family standing in front of a townhouse. Older, thinner, settled. The date was 5 years from now. And behind them, faintly visible through the townhouse window, was the pale gray siding of the house on Alder Ridge Road. Closer than it should be, as if it had followed. The frame felt warm in her hands. That night, at 2:14 a.m., Elena woke. The bedroom felt slightly wider, only by an inch, but enough. And somewhere, faintly, she heard would shift. Slow, patient, adjusting.